everyone, Ivy League Gaming here, and today we're playing Dragonheir Silent Gods. For today's video, we're going to head over to the Heretical Ruins to do an overview and proper guide versus this dungeon. Today's video is sponsored by Dragonheir Silent Gods, my favorite sponsor because it's my favorite game that I've played in a long time. Be sure to join us for Season 3, Dive Deep, Battle Peak. There's a ton of new heroes, new bosses, and lots to explore. Be sure to download via Android, iOS, Mac, PC, Steam, or Epic Games if you haven't already, and use the currently working promo codes. Alrighty, so let's head in. Heretical Ruins. So we have positive runes here, and this is one of the first side you unlock when you start leveling up your heroes. And you really want to get these, you want options for these for sure. You get the crit damage on this side. The other runes are the ones that give, accuracy. But yeah, I wanted to go over this in better detail. So here we are, Heretical Ruins, the amazing Phoenix. So this boss, first of all, yeah, I'm on stage 8. This is my higher dungeon. I'm so not on 12 yet, don't judge me, but again, I was really behind with my progression in my account. But this dungeon, regardless of which spot I'm at, this is going to have the same advice. I'm going to point out heroes that are typically very good for it, the roles you need to cover, and all of that fun stuff. So let's actually go in here and view the information for the boss. So the Phoenix here inflicts burn on the entire team periodically, and it resurrects the dead Phoenix nestling when it goes invisible. It receives healing while the dead Phoenix nestling channels under the worship status. So versus this boss, it says you would like stun or taunt, because you can actually taunt or stun those eggs, as I call them. And then healing reduction or prevention, and healing reversal is great as well as debuff immunity because the boss places burns. So and debuff dispelling as well. So obviously we can't control the boss itself, but we can the little spawns on the side. So here's the skills though. So spews fireballs at the current enemy and inflicts burn. Now remember, burn does AoE splash damage. This means you need to spread out your heroes. Just like you do in the flame domain, positioning does matter. Unless you're preventing the burn from happening in the first place on every skill somehow, which I guess is possible, then you're okay. But if you're not preventing the burn from happening, you want to spread out your heroes. If you're dispelling the burn later after the fact, you want to still prevent any extra damage over time, so you really want to spread out your heroes. And then when you come over here, induces the hatchling of all phoenix eggs. Oh yeah, they are eggs. Huh? If at least one dead phoenix is reborn, the dead phoenix gains invisibility for 12 seconds. Then you cannot hit them from single target skills. This is why AoE damage is needed versus this boss. If you're trying to bring in your wild team with a bunch of single target hits, you're not going to have success. It needs to be AoE. Now, I think Erich might be able to count. Actually, I'm not sure because it's random hits. So no, that's going to be part of it. It's going to slow down the run. But you got to use what you got. I get it. And yeah, overall though, you're going to want AoE damage. So here is the big hit though. It's an AoE inflicting 2 more stacks of burns. So where you are exactly as far as where the boss hits doesn't matter. But the fact of burn and how it spreads out and does extra damage to adjacent targets, just like your normal burn heroes or the other boss again, like the flame domain, you want to make sure you don't get that extra damage. So I'm going to head on in here. Actually, before we go in here, let's look at lineup recommendations and we'll talk about why. So the earlier stages, I think, what is it? You can get rare up to 3. Starting at 4, you can get epic, and then starting at 7, you get legendary guaranteed, plus chances to get the actual drop of the rune. But you at least get one of these bad boys. So, and then at 2, 3 to 4 here at 9. And then once you get to 12, it's the highest rates possible. But you only have to get to 9 to guarantee yourself a rune every single run. Once you get to 12 or 11 or 10 or whatever, it's just higher amounts of these or 2 runes that are guaranteed to be dropped starting at 10. So that's kind of how this works. Lineup wise though, let's say you're trying to aim for 9 because that's what I know, that's what I'm working on myself. Look at this, Gulend is a very popular choice. Of course, AoE damage attack penalty is amazing against this boss as well. He does hit very hard. And then dispelling of debuffs, you can't get much better than that. And healing, so Gulend is absolutely a top tier legendary option if you have him. I just got Adolphus, so I'm quite happy for this as well. Adolphus brings some damage along with his shields for the team. So he does this as his damage pattern that you could see on the screen, but he shields all allies full board. So that's really, really nice. And his damage is based on attack and enlightenment, so really simple to build. Just build him with attack and enlightenment. And then here, an extra shield and increasing ultimate energy on his battle skill, and his passive is really cool, granting shield, so he can help you mitigate damage. That's a really fun choice as well here. You're going to see a lot of Sigrid, of course, because Sigrid is great when whether it be the dragon eggs or the actual phoenixes, she can hit everything as long as you apply debuffs with another hero. I think you're going to see the adventurer a lot as well, especially as fire, just for pure simple AoE damage from the adventurer, the traveler. Vikuk, that a lot of people probably have, is a great option because he also brings dispelling of debuffs and a heal on a full board and attack penalty as well. That's another great option. Sigrid plus Latalis is definitely a good combination. Sigrid plus Dane is another great combination. Just someone that's going to put AoE debuffs that Sigrid could then smack and take advantage of her kit. Plus, Sigrid brings healing prohibition on her battle skill and her ultimate. So she's definitely a top tier option. Let's look at the stage 12 teams. Look at the stage 12 with Sigrid, Latalis, Garius, the Free Erich, and Catherine. I love it. That's a really good team. And then here's the super budget team right here. Look at the top. Hexandra, Horus, Sigrid, Latalis, Traveler. You can't get any more budget than that. 3 rares in the free heroes. You cannot get better than that. Now, I'm sure this person has some good gear. Ironically, the level 20 rare artifact. I love to see that. The crown. But then someone is in the Brotherhood set. The Brotherhood set is huge. I don't have a Brotherhood set on my account. I need to go farm Grave of Rot. That's going to be huge for my account to get one of those. Hexandra is in double sets here. I don't have a single set of Ancestral Protection that's good, or the other set either with the heal that's the Enlightenment. I don't even have 2 pieces of that. You know, I got lots of work to do. And yeah, of course, the Adventurer here, just getting this one has as much attack as possible, but you can definitely go Platinum set to make the Adventurers, the Travelers ultimate do the most damage. But yeah, that's kind of a great look here. When it comes to poisons, Dench is a fun option if you're going that route. I like seeing that. That's pretty cool. But here are some more non-legendary options. Dane and Sigrid, or Sigrid and Latalis and Sigrid are just such a good combination. For this boss, Latalis is just going to provide another option for healing reduction or prohibition, so that's really good as well. Not bad at all. And then this is pretty good because he reduces ultimate energy of the boss, so you could slow it down for the sake of timings if you need to, because although this boss has a big 24-second rotation, so it's not too hard to stay in full rotation. That's really nice. You don't have to worry about the 18-second rotation like a lot of the bosses have. But let's go ahead in here, and I'll just show you guys what I'm working with. I need to progress. Oops, actually, let me go back to the other one. I'm not ready for 9 yet. But beautiful, beautiful graphics, as always. I really love this. My team definitely can do this. I just need to increase their gear. Like, you can only go so far, you know? Farming those stages where you start getting legendary gear, you're going to need decent gear on your heroes to be able to do the highest stages possible. I completely expect that. Let me load in what I've got. So I have my tank and Horus in the crown. I am using Tauren as a healer. He's pretty good for that, and he does give debuff immunity, so that way Horus won't get the burns. And he heals and removes a debuff there as well. That helps for sure. And yeah, he's a pretty good healer, so it's not a bad choice here. We have Dane to apply Witch's Remains, although I wish I had someone with multiple hits for that instead, but it's fine. Sigrid will go after Dane to use her ultimate, and she is in the Platinum Knight set, which is good for the strong ultimates. And then I have Hexandra here as another healer, and she also can dispel a debuff. I just noticed my Hexandra doesn't even have skills, so let's go and change that. She deserves it. I'm going to be using her quite a lot, especially as someone who does not have Vcook. I'm definitely going to be using Hexandra in some of my battles, or I'll be using Adolphus plus Hexandra and no more Tauren. So honestly, I would probably get rid of Tauren and just bring in my new shiny Adolphus to have the 5 synergy. Where the hell is he? Here he is. This is probably what I would want to try. But for now, I'm just going to load what I got. I did make a team on this, so it is what it is. Where's my... Did I not make a team on this? Oh gosh. Or was I just using... I think I was just using a different team. What was I using? Now I have to go look. Let's see. What was I using, guys? Was I using my curse team? I think so. I'm using my Venom team. Oh, okay. Well, the good thing with the Venom team is everyone is on a standard rotation. But I need to be on a 24-second rotation. So either way, I've got to change this. So you know what? Let's do the thing. Let me swap in Adolphus and see how this goes. Alright, so I brought Adolphus into the team. He's only a 4-star though. I need to go farm a little bit more flame. I don't quite have enough to be able to grab all the ones he needs to level him up. Almost from the stuff in the backpack, but we'll see. But yeah, this is my team. I went ahead and put Adolphus in the Enlightenment and then increased shield crown that a lot of people will use for him early on. I wish I had Elminster's artifact, but of course I missed that one. Can't go back in time for there, but I'm really excited to have him as part of my team. I just pulled him from Starlight yesterday, actually. Well, or I don't know, whatever. Friday, as of this, I don't know when this video is being posted. Okay, so my timings, the only thing I worried about right now was the Sigrid and Dane synergy to make sure he places a debuff before she goes, to make sure there's a debuff on the boss before she's going. That's all I did. I didn't worry about anything else because I don't have a proper cleanser or debuff preventer for this boss, which I really need, but it is what it is. Like, I don't have that built and I don't have the best options for it. So, and I don't want to put Enna in here, so we're going to do that as it is. We're going to just use what we got. So, all right, so let's head in with this team. I did choose to use the Enlightenment Aura because that gives healing and damage to Adolphus. It also gives healing to Hexandra, and we don't really have anything else to help us damage-wise, so I'm going to try that one for now. So let's go into the boss here. So ideally, if we had a debuff prevention, a debuff immunity buff for our allies, like with Catherine or Asilia or some of the others, I think Mithrasia, the legendary, you want to have that go, I'd say, before the boss does their ultimate, or if there's someone like Asilia that cleanses then puts up the debuff, you want it to go right after the boss's ultimate, and have it go to where it can cover these 2 skills, because these 2 skills do the splash damage to enemies inflicted with burn. So it's like, it's just extra damage, plus you have the burns proccing, doing their natural splash damage. You really want to, yeah, prevent that. You want to get rid of these burns, but there's multiple burns, so preventing all of them is kind of impossible. So just if you can have a little bit of both, if you have some cleansing and you have some debuff prevention, you're going to be in a good spot. But you can see here, the only debuff cleansing or prevention I have is like Hexandra, which she doesn't do exactly very much. Let's be honest, she doesn't like AoE cleanse or anything. So with that in mind, I actually am just doing a lower stage. It is what it is for me right now until I get the right tools. But you can certainly try to time your prevention of debuffs or dispelling in a couple of different times. You could try to dispel right after the boss's ultimate and then dispel again anywhere after these other ones happen, but it's kind of hard because it does happen on so many skills. That's the problem with the burns. So this is definitely the kind of boss you could play around with the idea of I guess high resistance even to try to resist some of the burns. Or if you have a hero that has a big resistance aura, that could be something you try to take advantage of if you're dying. But as long as you spread your heroes out here and don't have a bunch of melee heroes that all bunch up together, you're going to be pretty well off. So you can see this is a pretty nice, smooth team, nothing too crazy. And I can certainly do this boss with little concern for dying. And this is a safe place for me to farm. Now, can I progress super high? Probably not. Maybe if I get the levels up a little higher. But I really feel like I'm going to need something a bit stronger if that is the case. So, like, again, the higher stages, you're going to see some sort of debuff handling. Like in this case, Ogak is a cleanser. She is a cleanser and, or she just debuff immunity. Sorry, she doesn't actually cleanse, does she? No. Debuff immunity, she puts it up at a certain time. Vikuk is a cleanser and a healer. He removes the debuffs. You're going to see a lot of that, at least. Mithrasia prevents with debuff immunity. But you can see that you can get away with it. Look at here. If you got a good enough gear and you can smash hard enough and you got good enough survivability because you have people in the right gear. Ironically, that's pretty funny. He doesn't even have any ancestral protection fully on anyone in this battle. That's interesting to see. But the Brotherhood set makes you do damage fast, so that can help. But if you can do damage fast enough and all the burns don't destroy you, then there you go. You're good to go. So it's not like you need the full cleanse and debuff immunity, but for most people, I think that can really help for the sake of survivability. And a lot of people probably spent $1 on the epic chest and got a free Vikuk as a bonus. So definitely utilize him if you have him. But yeah, I hope this video was helpful. Just try to make sure people know to check all the boxes. So just remember to bring in the AoE damage. Spread your heroes out so you're not getting splash damage from the burns. And try to also prevent healing with someone like Sigrid. And you're going to be pretty good to go. And it's, depending on your team, is going to depend on how much dispelling of debuffs or the prevention that you need. So there you go, guys. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Be sure to download via Android, iOS, Mac, PC, Steam, or Epic Games if you haven't already. And thanks again to Dragonheir Silent Gods for sponsoring today's video.